All right, so welcome everyone. This is our third Wellness Wednesday event put on by the Office of Student Engagement. Today we have a really relevant topic. We're going to be talking about food resources for students. This is a collaboration with VCU's RAM Pantry, and we have Allison and Emma here with us today. Both of them are students in the MSW program here at VCU. And so without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to them.
Thank you, Holly. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Is it coming up okay?
Mm-hmm.
Oops. All right. So like Holly mentioned, Allison and I are both first-year graduate students with the School of Social Work. I am interning with the Dean of Students office, primarily working with RAM Pantry, and Allison is with the School of Business. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into food resources available for students, starting with our on-campus resources in RAM Pantry. So that is the most accessible food resource we have for students is RAM Pantry. It's student-run and student-led organization on campus. The pantry is physically located in the Student Commons building on the Monroe Park campus, but both MVC and Monroe Park students have access to the pantry. We supply fresh produce with our microgreen program. We have dairy products, we have bread that we get delivered weekly from donors and community partners, as well as lots of shelf-stable items. So because of the pandemic, I just kind of wanted to walk through how the RAM Pantry has shifted the way that we've started to take orders. So in order to get access to RAM Pantry, students initially will have to fill out a survey, and you can find the survey on the Dean of Students office homepage under services. You can click on RAM Pantry, and then about halfway down, you will see under hours of operation a header with the link to the survey. The survey just asks for students to supply their VCU email, because we have to have a VCU valid email to confirm that you can gain access to the pantry, as well as a little bit of information about other resources you might be interested in and that we can help with. So once you have completed the survey, we get confirmation of that, and we will send you out an email from RAM Pantry with a link access to our online store. So one of the students here at VCU actually created an online store for us to use to real-time log inventory that we get, so students can actually fill out carts for the items that they'd want, 1 bag per week. So in the past, our pantry has serviced about 50 students a week, and as the semester's ramping up, we were just kind of looking at numbers today, and we've seen about 20 to 25 now coming per week. So that's kind of why we do a 1 bag per week, is we want to make sure we can give everybody equal opportunity to get their first choice items. So once you fill a cart following the parameters, which are unlimited bread, unlimited microgreens generally, and then usually 7 to 8 pantry items, you can pick up a pickup time. You can place a pickup time, which we will get, and we're going to have our students fill the orders once they get them, and they'll be labeled with students' initials and pickup time outside the student commons to pick up. So this way, students can work around their schedule. The pantry, again, is open by appointment only Monday through Thursday from 12 to 7, and we have students available during that time to answer any questions if they arise. And as always, if students have any questions, they can feel free to reach out to RAM Pantry at vcu.edu, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. The other option that I'm learning more about as a new VCU student is the RAM Bucks. So this is something available for VCU students, and they can be automatically uploaded to VCU student ID cards. which can be utilized just kind of like a debit card at participating locations. And there's lots of locations on the list. This is a great option if you have family or friends that are feeling generous. They can make a contribution to your card on your behalf. To do this, you just visit the VCU card location office or the VCU homepage. From there, you can enter the recipient's email address, and they will be sent a unique link they can use to upload funds to your account. So as I said, even better, there's dozens of food options and restaurants available that you can utilize Rambucks at. One of my favorites being Roots Natural Kitchen. I was really excited to see that on the list. Maybe you and your friend aren't into the dining hall options that night. That is a good option to kind of save personal money if you have, again, family or friends that are feeling generous and can kind of give you the funds to eat at one of the participating locations. To view all the options available that you can use Rambucks at, you can check out the list at the myvcucard.com. And if you have any further questions about the VCU card, you can contact the card office. The card office is open Monday through Friday at both the Monroe Park and MVC campus locations, but they are also by appointment only from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So just making sure we're following the parameters of COVID-19. And the next thing I wanted to jump into are the off-campus resources. So Richmond boasts so many off-campus food resources for students. It's dedicated to providing nutrition services for free for in-need residents to access. There are over 50 locations just in a 25-mile radius of VCU's campus. You can get everything from these pantries from dairy products, bread, pantry stable, fresh produce, even meat on occasion. I located the pantries using the Feed More website. Feed More is an organization that partners with local pantries and provides them with donations on a regular basis, so pantries remain stocked. You can visit the Feed More website and go to their locator tab to look in your zip code to find pantries available to you. Some things to keep in mind when you are visiting pantries is I recommend to call first. This is something that I had been doing earlier in the semester as pantry operation hours have changed due to COVID. So just keeping in mind that even though the Feed More website may say they're open, it's always better to double check. Also, some pantries require you to live in the zip code that the pantry is located in. So this would mean requiring you to show your valid ID so they can prove that you're a resident of the same zip code as the pantry. Some, like what we do at Ram Pantry, require an initial intake survey, usually just to gain a little bit more information about you and possibly the situation that brought you to seek services. And then as always, please wear a mask and follow safe COVID-19 social distancing rules, making sure we're keeping everybody safe and healthy so we can continue on with a great school year. But I am going to go ahead and pass it on to Allison, who's gonna talk you through some inexpensive and easy recipes she's compiled and how to formulate a budget that works for you.
Yeah, thank you, Emma. So as she said, my name is Allison, and I am a first-year MSW student currently interning with the Business School Career Services Office. And so just a little bit of background about the cookbook. I attended James Madison University, and for one of my senior capstone projects, I was researching food insecurity and food access, and I noticed that a lot of people didn't have access to easy meals that were relatively affordable to cook. So I decided for my senior capstone to create a cookbook of around 30 meals that all range about $5 each per serving. But again, that $5 depends on what type of grocery store you're going to. So now that you've learned about some resources that are available, on and around campus to pick up, I just wanted to provide you guys with some resources to cook some meals at home. So meal prepping is a great way to save money. And this cookbook provides you with some, I mean, they're really easy. The ravioli soup, I make it all the time. I love to eat it. And so these meals aren't just for people who need them. They're just really quick and easy things that you guys can provide for your families. The cookbook is broken down by different proteins. And I know that cooking at home, especially as a student for me, can seem oftentimes time consuming, but it's an excellent way to save money. And especially like I've been meal prepping a little bit on Sundays, and I found that that's really helpful for me throughout the week because then all I have to do is heat up whatever I made over Sunday. And then that's just a really easy way for me to not spend as much time in the kitchen, but still be eating something that could be healthy and nutritious rather than going to a fast food restaurant or something like that. So if you would like a copy of the cookbook, you can email osc@vcu.edu, or you could also put your email in the chat. Emma, if you could go to the next slide. So this is a little bit of budgeting information. On the left, you see the weekly dinner planner, and that's a picture from the cookbook itself. So what I found is what I do when I'm planning my meals is I make a grocery list of all the ingredients that will be in each meal. And oftentimes you can see a lot of overlap between the ingredients in the meals, and that can be a great way to save some money just because the overlap means that you're not buying a wide variety of ingredients, but also creating a specific grocery list has done a great job of keeping me like on a schedule with what I'm buying at the grocery store, because I mean, sometimes I'll go and I'll be like, ooh, ice cream. But then I have to remember that, you know, that wasn't part of my grocery list for the week. So even though it might be appealing, I have to put it down. But then on the right, you'll see two pictures of budgeting information. And I found this information from Lisa Matthews Aylesworth. She's an advisor with the Dean of Students office. And this is just some of what was present on her budget. And the numbers that you see on the right side are what the monthly averages are that people usually spend on those specific expenditures. And then, I mean, when you're creating your own budget, if those specific things don't relate to you, or you don't spend money on apps, or you don't have to pay for your cell phone, then of course you wouldn't have to include that information in your specific budget. But these are definitely an important, and I mean, it's a really comprehensive list of everything that should pretty much be included in a budget. And then if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that there is a link that you can click to schedule an appointment with Lisa herself, and you can sit down and go over any budgeting information. So that's also a super useful tool because I mean, she's really good at what she does. So definitely a tool to use. Emma, can you go to the next slide? That's all the information that I have about budgeting in the cookbook. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for listening. Emma and I really appreciate you guys being here. And if you guys have any questions, we would love to try to answer them.
Awesome. No, thank you, Allison and Emma. It was really helpful to hear not only about resources, but certainly great tips for cooking as a student as well. So yeah, we'll open it up to questions now.
Is there a limit to the number of times a student can come to Ram's Pantry?
Yes, we allow students to access the pantry one time per week. But during that time, we do offer, as I said, like the unlimited microgreens during that visit, unlimited bread as it's available at the time, unlimited produce when we have it, and then usually 7 to 8 shelf-stable items. So it is once a week, but we try to make it enough products to last for the entire week for the student.
But they could come every week of the semester.
Yep, they could come every week.
Thanks.
Well, I think maybe you both were so thorough that there might not be a ton of other questions. So if everyone's questions have been answered, yeah, thank you so much. You did a wonderful job. And again, this has been recorded so that students who couldn't join today due to class or other commitments will be able to watch. So thank you again for your time and for that wonderful information.
Hi, Holly.
Oh yeah, hey Brittany, hey.
I'm so sorry to jump in. I was trying to process my question, but
We're good.
from a staff perspective, does Emma or I'm sorry, I can't see everybody on here. Allison, have any suggestions on how staff or faculty can bring this info to students without having them feel uncomfortable? Because I know sometimes that could be a sensitive topic. So you just have any suggestions on that?
I think that's a really valid question, and definitely something that we've looked into as social work students, is how to be mindful of students' confidentiality and discretion when we're discussing topics of food insecurity that might make people uncomfortable. I would suggest being very transparent to students, offering up times to meet and discuss individually about resources that are available. We at the Dean of Students office have so many resources that we can share with faculty and staff that they can then give to students to answer any of their questions. So I think that just making yourself available, reaching out to your classes to let them know that this is something that a lot of students experience, especially now in the middle of a global pandemic. Definitely times are tough, and we want to make sure that we're supporting our fellow Rams.
Thank you so much. That was really helpful.
Great. Are there any other questions? All right. Well, again, thank you, Emma and Allison. It was really informative, great tips, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Thank you. Take care, everyone.